Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today I'm going to be going over a Jabba the Hutt and Unkar Plutt deck that I'm kind of working on. I'm kind of theory crafting and testing this deck out. There's going to be some stuff being changed once more cards from Spirit of Rebellion are revealed. But currently, so we have Jabba and Unkar. We have them at their elite costs, so Jabba being 14, Unkar being 13. So Jabba has the one focus, another one focus, two disrupt, two discard, a resource. He has 11 hit points. And after you roll, or after you activate Jabba, you can re-roll a yellow die. Unkar has one focus, one disrupt, a resource, plus two resources and a blank. He has 10 hit points. And an action, remove any number of your dice showing a combined value of 3 or more, and then discard a random card from an opponent's hand, and you gain resources equal to whatever that card cost. So that can be a pretty cool ability. We're also running the command center, so you claim it, you mill the top two cards off of your opponent's deck. So Unkar is going to be disrupting resources. Jabba is going to be doing the same, but he's also going to be focusing and milling. Unkar can focus as well and also gain resources. We're going to move into our upgrades here. So we're running two Cunning. So two resources, has a focus, disrupt, discard, resource, special, and yellow character only, resolve a special ability on another card in play as if it were your own. We're also running Blackmail. I saw a lot of criticism over Blackmail on various forums and places. People saying, after you roll this die, any opponent can give you a resource to remove the die. Why would you include this when they can just remove? Basically, you roll it and then they remove it. The answer to that is basically going to be with Unkar Plutt. So Unkar has the two disrupt faces. So if you roll him out, and let's say you put Blackmail on Jabba, you roll out Unkar, you resolve, let's say, the two disrupt, you disrupt both their resources, and then when you roll Jabba with Blackmail, they're not going to have a resource to give you to keep it out of the pool. So basically, you get rid of the resources needed to pay this cost on Blackmail, so that now you have access to the entire card, which is pretty nasty. So has two discard, two disrupt, three disrupt, and three shields. We're also running two personal shields. This deck doesn't have a lot of damage in it, so this is a nice way to kind of mitigate some of that damage. Um, two resources. It also gives Jabba and Unkar some survivability. So it has it's two resources, has one shield, two shield, three shields for a resource, and a blank. And before the attached character is dealt two or more ranged damage, you can exhaust it to gain a shield as well. We also have two Holdout Blasters. These are just kind of a placeholder temporarily until there's like a grappling pistol that got spoiled. I think it was one of the Polish spoilers, so I don't remember what the card does. But we're probably going to replace the Holdout Blasters with that. But Holdout Blaster, two resources, has ambush, one range damage, two range damage for a resource, plus two range, shield, resource, and blank. Also has redeploy. We're running one Crime Lord, four resources, and yellow character only, two focus, three disrupt for a resource, two shields, two resources, and two specials. And then you get to spend five resources to choose a character. That character is defeated after this round ends. And we have two fast hands, zero resources. After the attached character, after you activate the attached character, you resolve one of its character or upgrade dice. So we're going to be putting one of these on Unkar Plutt. This is how we're going to basically get Blackmail to work. So Unkar Plutt gets fast hands. So when we activate him, we can immediately resolve one of his disrupt faces if he happens to land on that. So you immediately, with fast hands, resolve the two disrupt, which then, when you roll Jabba later, they have no resources, so you can keep Blackmail in play. We also have two Datapads. So one resource has a resource, plus one resource, plus one resource, a special, and two blanks. Special is turn any one of your dice to a side not showing damage. We're not running a lot of damage in this deck anyway, so we're going to be turning into our specials on like Crime Lord, turning stuff to like on Blackmail, turning it to the 3 mil side, turning it to the special on Cunning, turning it to the shield side on personal shields, personal shield. Basically, this is gonna get us what we need, kind of when we need it. We're going to move into our events, or our supports, I should say. So our supports, we're running 1 Slave 1. This is some of the damage in our deck. So 4 resources. This deck runs a lot of resource generation, so getting the 4 resources for Slave 1 shouldn't be a problem. So it has 2 range, 3 range, 4 range for a resource, a special, and a blank. And the special is force an opponent to deal damage to their characters equal to the number of dice in their pool, and they get it distributed as they wish. Also, this damage will play into another card in further down in the events. So we have my Kind of Scum. We have 2 of them. Support 1 resource. After you resolve a die showing disrupt, you may exhaust this support to gain resources equal to the number of resources your opponent just lost. So with Unkar, if we disrupt 2, we exhaust this, we gain 2. If we have both out in play, we can exhaust both at the same time and gain double. So if we disrupt 2, we can exhaust both my Kind of Scum and gain 4. We have an Infamous, just 1. Before you play a yellow card, you may exhaust the support to give it the ambush keyword, so you can take another action after that. And now into our events. So we have 2 Electroshock, 1 resource. Spot a yellow character to remove a die showing a value of 2 or lower, kind of a staple in yellow decks. We have 2 He Doesn't Like You. Remove 1 of your dice to remove an opponent's. Some mitigation coming up. We have 2 block and 2 dodge. So just 2 resources. Block gets rid of melee dice. Dodge gets rid of ranged dice. So if your opponent rolls out really well, you have 2 resources. You can either block or dodge, depending on what kind of damage they're using. If you're playing against a melee deck, you're probably not going to be using dodge, so you can just discard those for rerolls and things like that. Same thing goes for block. If you're playing against a ranged deck, you're not going to be able to use block to get rid of melee damage, so you can just use those for rerolls as well. We have 1 fair trade, cost 0. Resolve 1 of your dice showing a resource, then switch all of your resources with those of your opponents. So they get 1, and you get all the resources that they have. And then you can immediately just disrupt those. We have 2 bait and switch. 0 has ambush, so you can take another action after it. Turn 1 of your dice from a side showing a resource to any side. So you can do that with, like Jabba, you can change it from a resource side to his mill side, and so on. We have, and then I think finally, our last event, we have 2 loose ends, 2 resources. It has ambush. Remove 1 of your dice showing range damage to discard the top 4 cards of the opponent's deck. So we're going to, let's say we have the +2 range damage showing on our Holdout Blaster. We can pay 2 resources, remove that die. We wouldn't be able to use it anyway because it's modified damage. And then we get to mill 4 cards off the opponent's deck and then take another action. The only thing missing in this deck really is like survivability stuff. There's a little bit with the shields and things like that. But I'm hoping when this complete set is out, there is some stuff that's like equivalent to maybe draw attention and field medic in villain yellow, so we can heal damage off of our characters. But this deck can get pretty nasty, especially with things like Blackmail, just milling cards like crazy. You're stealing resources with Unkar. You're basically just generating a ton of resources. So, for some reason, if you have 0 resources, you can resolve a die with a resource and play fair trade and get all your opponent's resources. So your heavier, more costly upgrades like Slave 1 and Crime Lord are going to be fairly affordable because you're going to be generating a lot of resources yourself because Unkar has the 2 resource sides. There's the modified resource sides on Datapad. There's resources here and resources on a lot of cards. Plus, have my Kind of Scum, so whenever you disrupt, if this isn't exhausted, you can exhaust it to gain resources as well. And like I said, Unkar also has that ability of removing 3 dice from your pool that are equal to 3 or more to discard a card from an opponent's hand, and you get resources equal to the card that you just discarded. That can backfire on you. They may discard something that costs 0 or 1, but if they discard something like a launch bay or an ATST, like a lightsaber, you're getting 3, 5, or 6 resources, which you can then turn around and use to play Crime Lord or trigger a Crime Lord special, play your Slave 1, and so on. If there's anything you think I should add or subtract from this deck, please, I want this to be like a community deck that we all kind of build. Leave those in the comments below of any suggestions of what we should take out or put in. And that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next time with another video. Until then, I want you to take care. Have a good one.